At exactly 3:11 a.m., the bedroom wall changed. There was now a window that hadn't been there before. And something was staring in. I live alone in a second-floor apartment. There's no balcony, no fire escape, no tree close enough to climb. Just a brick wall outside. But that night, there was a window. And behind the glass, two dark eyes, unblinking, watching. I didn't scream, I froze. Not out of bravery, but because every part of me knew that if I moved, it would too. I tried to make sense of it. I told myself it was sleep paralysis, a dream, a hallucination. But I wasn't dreaming. I could feel the cold floor under my feet, the soft hum of the fridge down the hall. I turned my head just slightly to grab my phone from the nightstand. When I looked back, the eyes were gone. The wall was solid again. No window, no frame, just plaster and silence. I barely slept the rest of that night. The next morning, I checked outside. No scaffolding, no ladders. Just empty alley and flat brick wall. I tried to brush it off, told myself it was stress, lack of sleep. I even booked a therapist appointment. But I never made it. Because that night, it happened again. 3:11 a.m. On the dot. I opened my eyes, and there it was. The window. Same wall, same size, same pair of eyes, but this time, there was more. A pale hand, thin fingers pressed against the glass, like it was trying to come through. I backed away slowly, step by step, grabbed the baseball bat I kept by the door. And then the phone. I tried to take a picture. But when I raised it, the screen was black. Camera wouldn't open. Nothing worked. I turned the lights on, looked again, gone. No window, just the wall. That morning, I called my landlord. Asked if there were any weird renovations, hidden vents, pipes, anything unusual. He laughed, said no. Asked if I'd been drinking. I didn't bother explaining. I just packed a bag and checked into a hotel across town. But that wasn't the end. 3 days later, I came back to grab some things. Middle of the day, sunlight everywhere. I walked into the bedroom and stopped cold. There was something new on the wall. Not a window, not anymore. A frame. A painting. Of my room. And in the painting, I was standing there, right where I stood now. Only, in the painting, there was a window behind me, and something was looking in. I dropped the bag and ran. Didn't even lock the door. I've been crashing on my friend's couch ever since. I haven't told her why. I don't know how to explain that I'm being haunted. Not by a ghost, but by a window. And every night since then, no matter where I am, at exactly 3:11 a.m., I feel eyes watching me. I don't look anymore. I don't want to see what's behind the glass. But sometimes, when it's quiet, I hear it. Fingertips, tapping on a window. That shouldn't be there. It started when I was helping my mom clean out the attic. Boxes, old books, family photos. We found a whole stack of albums. Most of them I'd never seen before. And in almost every photo, there was a girl. She looked about my age, black hair, bangs across her eyes, always standing just a little behind me. But the thing is, I didn't remember her. Not from school, not from the neighborhood, not from anywhere. "Who's this?" I asked my mom. She squinted, held the photo closer. "That's weird," she said. "I don't know. I've never seen her before." That should have been it. But something about her stuck in my mind. The way she stared into the camera, never smiling, never blinking. Later that night, I took a few of the photos with me, scanned them, zoomed in. Always the same. Me, family, friends, and her. Never older. Never changing. At one point I looked at the timestamps. Some of those photos were from when I was 5, others were from high school. She was in all of them. Exactly the same. That's when I started to feel sick. Like something was deeply, horribly wrong. I asked my dad about her. He said the same thing as my mom. "I don't know who that is." I showed my childhood friend, Marcus. He said she looked familiar but couldn't place her either. "Maybe she was just someone from camp or something," he shrugged. But I never went to camp. 3 nights later, she showed up. At my door. 2:14 a.m. A soft knock. 3 times. I live in a small apartment on the 2nd floor. No one visits me unannounced, especially not at that hour. When I looked through the peephole, she was just standing there. Same black hair, same bangs, same eyes. But now, she was smiling. I didn't open the door, I just stared. She didn't move, didn't blink, just stood there. And then she spoke. "Don't you remember me?" Her voice wasn't threatening, it was soft, almost gentle. But it chilled me. I backed away, turned off the lights, crawled into my bedroom, locked the door, and waited. No footsteps, no sound. Eventually, I fell asleep. The next day, I checked the hallway camera. Nothing. No one was ever there. I told myself it was stress, lack of sleep. I nearly convinced myself it was a dream. Until I got a text. From an unknown number. Just 3 words. "Found you again." I blocked the number immediately. Threw away the old photo albums. But that didn't stop her. She started showing up in reflections. In the mirror, in the subway window, in my rear view when I drove at night. Always behind me. Never moving, never aging. I visited a therapist, brought some of the photos. He stared at them for a long time. Then looked at me. "There's no one behind you in these," he said. I thought he was messing with me. I showed him the scan on my phone, zoomed in. Still nothing. She had vanished. From every copy, every scan, even the prints. But I still saw her. I still heard her voice. Calling my name. Knocking at the door. Asking me to let her in. Last night, I found a photo I had never seen. It was in my sock drawer. A picture of me taken recently, in my apartment. And she was there, standing behind me. But the most terrifying part was that I was smiling, like I knew her. Now I'm scared to sleep, scared to close my eyes, because I think she's trying to come back. Not into my life, but into me. And if I forget, if I finally remember her, she'll stay. Forever. It started last Tuesday. Midnight, exactly. A knock on my door. 3 slow knocks. Not rushed, not panicked, just deliberate. I live alone. No one visits me at that hour. When I opened the door, no one was there. Just a small cardboard box, neatly placed on the welcome mat. No return address, no label. Just my name, written in black marker. I should have called someone, but I didn't. Curiosity won. Inside the box was a photograph. A picture of me, sleeping. Same sheets, same pajamas, same position I'd fallen asleep in. I felt sick. Rushed to lock every door and window. Turned on all the lights. Searched the apartment. Nothing. No sign anyone had been inside. No broken locks. No open doors. Just that photo. I didn't sleep that night. The next day, I tried to forget it. Maybe someone was playing a prank. A messed up joke. But the next night, again at exactly midnight, came another knock. This time, a larger box. Same writing. Same absence of clues. Inside was a VHS tape. I don't even own a VHS player. I borrowed one from a coworker the next day, told him I found an old home movie. When I played it, it was footage of my apartment. The hallway, the kitchen, the bedroom. The camera moved slowly, too slowly, and it wasn't me holding it. At one point, it passed by a mirror, and no one was reflected. I turned it off, unplugged the player. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. I wanted to call the police. But what would I even say? There's a ghost mailing me tapes? Midnight came again. So did the knock. This time, I didn't open the door. I waited. Silent. Frozen. Eventually, the knocking stopped. But in the morning, the box was still there. Smaller this time. Heavier. I opened it with gloves. Inside was a human tooth. Wrapped in tissue paper. Still fresh. I gagged. Nearly dropped it. But there was something else underneath. A note. Typed. Single line, we are getting closer. That day I booked a hotel, left town, didn't tell anyone where I was going. But it didn't matter. The next night, in a completely different city, the knock came again. Midnight. I opened the door slowly, my heart pounding. The box was there, waiting. I didn't want to know, but I couldn't stop myself. Inside, a voice recorder. Old, dusty, but it turned on. There was only one recording. I pressed play. It was my voice. Screaming, begging, crying. A version of me in pain, in terror. I threw it across the room. It shattered, stopped. I haven't slept in days. No matter where I go, they find me. And each night, the boxes get smaller, heavier, more personal. Tonight is night 7. I know something is coming. I've started leaving notes for myself. Trying to remember, trying to make sense. But this evening, when I came back from the store, there was a note already on my fridge. Same handwriting, same style. It just said, midnight is the final one. And I just looked at the clock. It's 11:58 p.m. I moved into apartment 3B on a Thursday. Small space, old building, but cheap and quiet. I was just grateful to have my own place. The landlord, Mr. Clay, was this grumpy guy in his 60s, didn't say much, just handed me the keys and said, "Last guy didn't stay long, hope you do." I asked why. He shrugged. "People come and go." That night, I unpacked some boxes, made a frozen pizza, and crashed on the couch. Around 2 a.m., I heard something. Not loud, just subtle, like a cabinet door shutting. I froze. I hadn't touched the kitchen in hours. I got up, walked slowly toward the sound. The apartment was dark except for the light over the stove. The cabinet door under the sink was open. I was sure I'd closed it earlier. I didn't think too hard, just shut it, locked the bedroom door behind me, and slept like shit. The next morning, I found something strange. A post-it note on the fridge. I hadn't brought any. It said, "Check the floor vent." No signature, just those 4 words. At first, I figured maybe it was from the landlord, something I missed. So I got down on my knees and looked. The vent near the bed was loose, screws halfway out. I pulled it open, and inside there was a tiny notebook. It was worn, spiral-bound, no name, just a few pages filled out. The first page read, "If you're reading this, then you hear them too." My stomach turned. The rest of the pages were dated, like journal entries, short, panicked, sloppy handwriting. They talked about sounds in the night, lights flickering, voices under the floorboards. Then, they knocked 3 times. "Don't open the door, no matter what." I put the notebook away. Tried to ignore it. But that night, at 3:03 a.m., there was a knock. 3 slow knocks. I sat up in bed, didn't move, didn't breathe. They came again, 3 knocks. Then silence. I didn't sleep. In the morning, I ran into Mr. Clay in the hallway. I asked him directly, "What happened to the last tenant?" He looked tired, like someone who hadn't rested in years. He said, "He left in the middle of the night, didn't take anything." "Why?" I asked. Mr. Clay shook his head. "Some apartments hold on to things." That night, I didn't even bother trying to sleep. I stayed up in the kitchen, lights on, music playing softly, trying to convince myself the knock was just coincidence. By 2:55 a.m., I'd almost let my guard down. Then I heard it. Not the knock. Something else. Scraping. Like furniture dragging. But from inside the walls. I held my breath, turned off the music. It continued, slow, heavy, like something crawling between the plaster. Then, 3 knocks. This time they came from the bathroom door, which I had left open, and now it was shut. I backed away slowly, didn't make a sound. No footsteps, no breathing. Just that closed door. The handle twitched once, then stopped. The next morning, I checked every inch of that apartment. No one, no entry, nothing touched. But when I opened the notebook again, there was a new page. Written in fresh ink. Not my handwriting. "You heard it, now it hears you." I dropped the notebook and left the apartment. Spent the day at a coffee shop, didn't speak to anyone, didn't check my phone. When I finally came back, I found the front door open. Not kicked in, just ajar. The lights inside were off. The fridge was humming. Everything looked the same. Except, on the floor in the hallway was a stack of post-it notes. Each one had a single sentence. "Don't trust the walls. It watches when you sleep." You're next." They were arranged like footprints, leading from the front door to the bedroom. I didn't follow. I left. Went to a friend's place. Didn't tell her the full story, just said I was dealing with noisy neighbors. She let me stay the night. I thought I was safe. Until 3:03 a.m., when I heard the knock again from inside her hallway closet. I stared at the closet door. It was shut, but I hadn't touched it. 3 knocks. Soft. Measured. I stood frozen in the dark. Then the doorknob turned slowly and stopped. But it didn't open. Nothing came out. I waited until sunrise. Didn't sleep. Didn't move, just listened. My friend didn't notice anything unusual. She just laughed it off. Said I must be dreaming. I didn't argue. But when I checked my bag that morning, I found another post-it note. You brought it with you. I went back to apartment 3B later that day. I needed answers. I went through the place like a detective, checked behind the fridge, under the bed, inside every vent. Eventually, I unscrewed the fuse box. Behind it, taped to the inside of the wall, was a flash drive. I plugged it into my laptop. There was only one file, a video, time-stamped 3 months ago. It showed the living room of the apartment. Shot from a corner angle. You could see a man, maybe early 30s, sitting on the couch, visibly shaken. He looks around like he's being watched. Then he stands up and walks off camera. You hear the knocks, 3 times. Then screaming. And then nothing. The video ends with a single frame, a shot of the notebook laying open to the last page. It read, "It doesn't want the apartment. It wants someone to remember." I closed the laptop, sat in silence. Something about those words stuck with me. What did it mean? Why me? And what happens if I forget? That night I stayed awake. Didn't move. Didn't breathe. Just stared at the walls. And sure enough, at 3:03 a.m., 3 knocks. This time, from inside the closet. I didn't open it. I just waited. Waited until morning. Now I live in a new place, new city, new name. But the knocks, they follow. Every night. 3 knocks, sometimes from the wall, sometimes from the mirror, sometimes from inside my own thoughts. And this morning, when I opened my eyes, there was a note stuck to my ceiling. Handwritten, same paper, same ink. It said, "Don't forget me."